What's up, y'all? This is Critic, and I just want to come here and do a quick review on the movie I just watched called The End of Oak Street. Now, before I get to my review, let me tell you my experience at the movie theater because, regardless of how I feel about this movie, I was pretty annoyed with what I had to go through. I went to the AMC movie theater, regularly, got my food, got my drink, sat down, nobody next to me. I always get two seats because I get like a free ticket sometimes, and I'm able to get like two seats, so nobody be able to sit next to me. I can chill, nobody bother me, whatever. There's this lady, and I guess her grandson or something like that, right next to my other empty seat. And if at first she had a bag on that seat, but I was like, cool, because nobody's sitting on it. Go ahead. Then while the previews were playing, her grandson, oh my god, he talked the most throughout the whole movie. I understand it's a kid, but at certain points it was like, all right, now you're just commentating the movie, and I need somebody that's just very hinged and have no empathy to just yell at this kid to shut up. But nobody's doing it. Even the people that was sitting next to the kid and the grandma or whatever, they moved to a whole different seat. So I'm like, oh, that kid gonna talk throughout the whole movie. And it was worse, during that movie, the grandma was commentating too. So I'm just like, oh my god, why are you putting me through this? Wallahi, why are you putting me through this? But they ended up moving or getting out of the theater earlier. So I was like, thank goodness. Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to say that to put in the context of that I was pretty annoyed that there was some talking throughout the movie and that we have no etiquette in today's society. But I digress. So anyways, The End of Oak Street. It's directed by David Robert Mitchell, who I only seen one movie from him, and It Follows. And it was pretty good, a little bit of horror. It's one of them horror movies where it's more of like an entity, like you don't see it. It's hard to explain, but once you watch it, you understand what I'm saying. But he know what he's doing is what I'm trying to say. And you got a good cast. You got Anne Hathaway, you got Ewan McGregor. You had the guy that was in The Game as the manager. That was pretty fun that he was in here. And I would tell you the premise of this movie, but I feel as though you shouldn't know because the experience I had not knowing the plot or anything about this movie was a really great experience. But the only thing I will tell you is that this movie involves dinosaurs, it involves the 1980s, and it's basically like a Steven Spielberg movie without Steven Spielberg. The best way that I could describe watching this movie and reviewing this movie is that this is one of the movies where you have to turn your brain off. Yes, it's one of them movies. And not in a bad way either. It's not like Transformers where like the ridiculousness on top of the stupid stuff is annoying. It's more of like the fun of it. Like you see certain things that happen in the story and how logic comes in, and you're just like, all right, we're just here for the fun of it. They just doing stuff just to do stuff. Here's what I will say. This movie reminds me of a mix of Avengers Endgame and Jurassic World. And that's all I'll say about it. And I'm starting to get the feeling that David Robert Mitchell made this movie just to show realistic dinosaurs and how they look. Because the different dinosaurs that they had between, this movie and Jurassic World is Jurassic World shows like the dinosaurs that you see in books and, in all the media, they're more scaly. They don't really have fur, all that. Here, they show like the actual dinosaurs that have fur. The drawings you see on TikTok or Twitter that they show realistic dinosaurs that they show here. And I'm starting to think that he was influenced by that and wanted to make this movie along with doing other things that contributed to the 1980s. So throughout the movie, you're following this family. Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor are a married couple along with their kids, a daughter and a son. And Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway are having, issues. Like they're going through a divorce. Everybody sees them as this perfect couple. They blessing them. They saying they have a wonderful family. But the inside of that family is that Anne Hathaway is wanting to make a book, and she want to get away from the family, low key. The Ewan McGregor's character, he's just so like unabashedly optimistic, and Anne Hathaway can't stand that. The son is dumb, and the daughter is into astronomy, which just to relate to the story with the dinosaurs and all that. All right, so let me tell you how dumb the son is. So when you first see him, they have this dog, right, that he loves and wants to, walk him during a cookout that they having right in the beginning. And Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor already having tension between each other, but they trying to like ease it out because they're having a family, weekend, so they don't want to cause no problems. But then the son, I bet you he got told millions of times, no, you can't walk the dog. It's a cookout. Let him stay on this leash. But the son takes him out anyway, and it's like, I want to take the dog out. I want to take the dog out. Dad said I could put the dog out.
That boy ain't right.
I'm just like, oh my god, he's one of them characters. And then, all right, when we see the dinosaur, when we get to that part, there is a certain section where the son sees the dog outside running away from the dinosaur, and then the son decides, I gotta save the dog, and gets out of the house knowing that there's a whole bunch of dinosaurs around the house.
That boy ain't right.
And all of them know not to go outside. I'm like, yo, this character's so dumb. When you watch the movie, you understand how dumb this character is. Like, I understand he's 13, but when I was 13, I was not that dumb. Shit, bro. But it was fun. There's some ridiculousness that's going to happen that will cause you disbelief. You either go into this movie, don't go in this movie thinking it's a serious movie. Think of all the 1980s movies you've seen, and you will have a good time watching this. I had a good time, and I can't wait to, probably see it again once it goes on streaming and just have some fun with it, with friends and all that. It's one of them type of movies. So that's my review for The End of Oak Street, and I'll see y'all later. All right, y'all. Peace.